Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Well, today's video is going to be slightly different for one simple reason, and that reason is this right here. Okay, so I hurt my hand. As a result, I can't operate a keyboard or a mouse right now, but nevertheless, I thought it would be a good opportunity to make a video for you guys on a topic that I wanted to cover for a while now, right? And that topic is how to become a 3D artist, or how to become a better 3D artist. Now, I talk about this a lot, due to my consultancy activities, and a couple of things seem to come back every time. So what I'm going to boil this down to is three main areas. It's going to be technical, it's going to be creative, and it's going to be commercial, all right? Okay, so let's start with the technical part. Okay, so you want to be a 3D artist. What do you want to do, right? There's a lot out there. So do you want to create games? And if so, what kind of games? Is it going to be mobile games, console games, PC games? What type of games, right? Do you want to create animated movies, short movies, feature movies? Do you want to create special effects in real-time movies? So all of that, plays a role in this. So do some research, figure out what you really want to do. Now, once you have done that, you can then start to look at, okay, so what software is typically used in that industry? So, when you want to go and create games or movies or whatnot. And again, all of that can be found online. Now, once you have a good understanding of what you want to do and what software is required, you need to figure out, okay, so what is a typical pipeline? And what do I mean by that? What is the normal sequence of events when they, for example, create an animated movie? So they do a storyboard, they have a script, they have, whatever. And what will your role be in that? Okay, so if you're a modeler, it's different than you are, let's say, a rigger or an animator, right? Now, once you know all that stuff, you know what the scope is of the technical skills that you need to learn. Maybe you need to learn Maya or Substance Painter or whatever. And what has an effect on this as well is, of course, what are your available resources? Do you have all this software available? Can you afford a school where they have this software available? Can you use alternatives? Maybe you can use Blender, which is free, and so forth, right? Now, with all that said and done, this should give you a good understanding of what you need to do from a technical aspect. Now, the problem is there are a lot of people out there that have a good understanding of the technical aspects of software, right? That doesn't necessarily make them great 3D artists. So the second step here is creative. Now, what do I mean by that? So to some extent, I assume that you already are creative, because you want to be a 3D artist. If you didn't have a creative bone in your body, you probably wouldn't want to be that, right? But let's say you have a basis to work with. Now, my advice would be to, first of all, learn how to draw. Now, the old school animators back in the day, they would do everything with a pencil and paper. And if you learn to draw, you learn a lot of very, very important aspects of the industry. You learn about scale, you learn about proportions, ratio, you learn about how light reacts on certain surfaces and whatnot, okay? So my personal opinion, it would be really, really good for you to understand that. Now, the second one is photography, and I go on and on about this for the simple reason that photography will help you to understand lighting, framing, composition. All of these elements are really important to help you to tell a story. For example, people use leading lines to point you towards a certain object or character in a scene. They will use light to do the same thing, right? Read books for the simple reason that it will help you to understand how a story is told, right? Read good books and bad books. What makes a story bad, what makes a story good. And also it, has an influence and an inspiration for you to come up with your own stories. And then of course the obvious one, watch movies. Now, movies bring that all together because they have a story, they typically have characters, they have a lot of communication going on between characters, and that can help you as well, right? So what is the interaction in whatever you're working on, and how can you be part of that story, regardless whether you are a character animator or, let's say, a props modeler, right? Okay, so that covers the creative aspect, and then finally the commercial one. Okay, so you know what you want to be, you know what software to learn, and you understand the pipeline, right? You have read books, you watched movies, you have a good understanding of, what creative skills you need, and you're working on that, right? But unfortunately, nobody knows who you are, where you're from, and that you are available to be hired. So the commercial aspect is all about you and your personal branding. So set up a professional portfolio, for example, on ArtStation. Make sure that people know where to find your work, know where to find you, and understand what your skills are. Be active online, let's say in Facebook groups or in other groups where professionals meet, and interact with questions and issues and projects. It doesn't always have to be your project or your question. You can help others and at the same time show them that you know your stuff. And once they have a project that comes up and they need somebody with your skills, they would more likely contact you and ask you to help out, right? So that in a nutshell are my tips to become a better 3D artist. Hopefully next time I'll be able to do some modeling again on Maya, but until then, thank you very much for watching and see you guys next time. Bye.